Hi guys, Harry here from the Art Gear Guide. Thanks very much for joining me today. As you can see, I have a review here of the Stabilo CarbOthello Pastel Pencils. But before I get into that, I just want to apologise for the lack of content that I've had out lately. It's partly been down to the fact that, as usual, my back and things like that there have become worse, and it's restricted me quite a bit on what I've been able to do. And also, the World Cup has started, so that is another factor, which I'm actually only joking. That's not been what's held me back. But the whole thing with Colour Pencil magazine actually affected me a little bit more than what I thought it would do. And so I took a little step back and tried to reassess how things were going to go forward, that type of thing. But now I've got all that sorted out in my head. I'm obviously moving forward and getting more reviews out. So hopefully the reviews will come out thick and fast now. So I just want to thank you all for bearing with me and being patient. Anyway, as you can see here, I've got a review here of the Stabilo CarbOthello Pastel Pencils. Now, I've wanted to do this for a long time. I've had my eye on these pastel pencils for such a long time. But the thing is, I got them from Stabilo, sent them to me along with the original colour pencils that they sent and the Aquarelle pencils that they sent, which I've also reviewed, and I'll have some links for that down below if you want to go and see those reviews. They sent me this 24 set, and I think it was about 8 months ago, maybe a little bit more. It might have been just before, just after Christmas. But the reason why it's taken me so long getting these out was because these were penciled in to be out on the October issue of Coloured Pencil magazine, and so I had to hold back. But obviously that's not happening now, so I'm able to get it out. And I've been, busting a gut to really get this one out because I'm so excited about these pastel pencils, and I have been, and I've used them, and I love them, and all the rest of it. And I'm going to show you the reasons why that I do love them. Like I say, Stabilo sent me this 24 set, and because I loved them so much, I had to go out and get the full 60 set for myself because they are just phenomenal. If you're not into pastels, then obviously this review may not be for you. But for the last, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 months, I've really got into pastels. I've been watching so many fantastic pastel artists. There's a girl on here, a lady on here called Emma Colbert. She's a fellow Northern Irish lady, and her pastel work is just absolutely phenomenal. I'll leave a link down in the description down below so you can go across and check out her work if you're interested in pastel art, that is. But watching people like Emma and stuff like that has been really inspirational, and Colin Bradley and people like that, it's been fantastic. Anyway, so let's get straight into the review because that's the reason why you're watching this video. So as you can see here, this is the 24 set. I will show you the 60 set in a second and what comes in that, what's available in that as well. But for now, we'll just get stuck in with this 24 set. So they all come in these tins. I'll go through the sets with you in a second, the availability and stuff like that. And as you can see here in this 24 set, it's got a nice, decent colour selection. One of the things that I really like about this Stabilo set is the CarbOthello Pastel Pencils is they have really nice skin tone pastels in here, and especially in the 60 set as well. So one of the first things that I get asked an awful lot about pastel pencils is their sharpening ability. Now, I've used many different sharpeners on these, and as you can see here with this pastel pencil, you can achieve a really nice point on them. I used the Derwent Super Point sharpener for this, the hand crank one. I've also used the M&R hand crank one. I'll have some links down below to these sharpeners if you want to go across and take a look at them. But I know also that a lot of pastel pencil artists like to use the craft knife, which I have had to use on occasions, but I prefer not to use them because I don't know, it doesn't give me the point that I'm trying to achieve. Anyway, so let's take a look at the actual barrel, see what we have going on here. So as you can see here, the barrel is lacquered the same color as the actual pigment. So it's very easy to identify the color. One thing that I would say is that the actual color name is not printed on the barrel. Now, I know a lot of people like to have that on the pencil. I know it can be very beneficial. There is a chart available which gives you the names of all the pastel pens, or all the colors in the 60 set. I'll have that over on the Art Gear Guide on my written review. If you want to go across and take a look at that, you can do. It also has the light fast information, which I'll get into in a second. So as we're going along the barrel here, we have the very recognizable Stabilo logo, which is the swan in the circle, and then obviously the company name Stabilo. Then we also have here the type of pencil that it is, which is CarbOthello. Because obviously, if you've got a range of pencils, say you've got the CarbOthello and the original Stabilo original and the Aquarelle, and you've got them all mixed together, it's just easier if the name's on the barrel, just in case you pick up the wrong one. There's also a number here, which obviously corresponds to the fact that you can buy these pencils open stock. So the number starts with 1400. That's on all the pencils, because that again relates to the fact that it's the CarbOthello range. Then there's a / and then another 3-digit number. That 3-digit number relates to the actual pigment. And then you have here the all-important light fast rating, which it's a star system. It goes up to 5 stars. There are 1 or 2 pencils in the set that have no stars, and then 1 star. But I'll have a list of the light fast ratings over on the Art Gear Guide. You can go across, take a look at that, and you can see which pencils are highly light fast and which pencils are less light fast. But it is really good that obviously these pencils, because these are real good artist grade color pencils. There's so many fantastic pastel artists that use these pencils, and once I started using them, it was really, really clear to see why. So let me just close this over and I'll show you the 60 set as well. So this is the full set. This is the biggest set that they do. They also do a set of 12, 24, 36, 48, this 60 set in a tin, and then they also do a 60 set in kind of like a wood gift box, which is beautiful. So the first tier here, you've got your like your yellows and reds, purples and blues, and then the bottom tier here, you've got all your greens, beautiful earth tones here, flesh tones as well, and you've got a really nice selection of greys. Also in this 60 set, you get a kneaded eraser. You get a blending stump, which always comes in really handy whenever you're working with pastels, because I know a lot of people are a bit standoffish with pastels because they don't like the texture, they don't like the feel of it on their hands and stuff like that. But there are ways around that. You can get around it with using things like blending stumps or color shapers, which I'll just show you one of those there now. They look like a little paintbrush, and they have a little rubber tip on the end here, and that helps you push the pigment into the paper that you're using. And finally here, they also have this sharpener. Now, it's just a little plastic sharpener, but Stabilo say that it's kind of like specially designed for pastel pencils. I have used it. It's not the best sharpener that I've used with these pencils, but it does work. But like I say, you know, my preferred method is some of the hand crank sharpeners, and I know true pastel artists will probably tell you that using a pastel pencil in that type of sharpener will blunt it. But a tip that I got was, when you're sharpening these pastel pencils in a hand crank sharpener, maybe after every 3 or 4 pastel pencils that you do, get a graphite pencil out and sharpen it, and it kind of sharpens the blade up again. So let me just move that off to the side. Now, I'm going to go and show you some of the colors on some paper here, just like swatch it out. But I do have an image, a drawing that I've done here with the pastel pencils. It's predominantly just the pastel pencils. I did start putting some block pastel down, and then I thought, no, you'll see that in the speed drawing. Because I also have a speed drawing of this drawing as well over on my YouTube channel. You'll be able to see that. I'll have a link for that down below. But you'll see at the beginning of it, I did start using some blocks, and then I thought, no, I want the drawing to be completely pastel pencils. Now that's not ordinarily how a pastel artist would do a drawing, just pastel pencils. They would use blocks and stuff like that. They're put in the main color and then come in with the pencils for the detail. But because it was a review, I wanted to just use the pastel pencils. So the paper that I'm gonna show you this on, and this is very important. I've spoke about this many times before about the importance of paper, not just with colored pencils and markers, but also with pastels. Now I've used a lot of different papers, um, and the results I got was terrible, and it was down to the paper. And I know that now because I've obviously moved on to this. I think the only paper that I haven't tried is the velour, which hopefully I'll get round to trying someday. But as you can see here, I've got some Clairefontaine pastel matte. Now this little pad here, let me just zoom out a little bit. This little pad here has 12 sheets in it in total. You've got some white, some sienna coloured, some brown coloured, and this kind of like, it's like a real deep dark grey colour. It's a really, I mean, when I started using this paper, I instantly loved it because the results that I was getting with the pencils was fantastic, and the same with blocks and stuff like that. So one of the things that I really like about this as well, I'm sure this is the same for a lot of pastel pads, is that in between each sheet, you've got what they call crystal paper, which is it just prevents the pastel dust from passing on. But one of the things that's really good about this is it's kind of like a card, so it's not going to bend about and stuff like that whenever you do your art on it. One of the things that a lot of pastel artists say is that the stiffer the paper or the backing that you have on this, the better, because it's less chance then for your the powder and all the layers and all that there to start dropping off if you're bending it. So this has like a cardboard feel to it. And so, like I say, I'm just going to show you some of the colours and show you how vibrant they are here. And like I say, to get a proper demonstration of the pencils in use, I would suggest that you take a look at the speed drawing that I've done. Okay, so like I say, there's no colours on these, on the barrel or anything like that. So, and I'm putting a kind of like a medium pressure on here, so I'm gonna go lighter as I go out. You can see there how bright and vibrant that is, especially on this dark colored paper. I'm not too sure whether you can hear it or not. It's this paper's not like sandpaper, but it is a rough texture. It's really, really nice. It grips hold of the pastels beautifully. You can see there, I mean, you can just build up loads and loads of layers and stuff like that on this paper. I can't stress enough how important the surface is with whatever art supply that you're using. How important it is to get the right surface for the type of art that you're doing and the type of medium that you're using as well. All those things, all those factors are so important whenever it comes to art. So this beautiful kind of yellow color. I mean, one of the things that I found difficult getting used to when I was doing this is obviously with colored pencils, you know that you've got to, you know, keep your light areas free. You know, don't put any color on them and stuff like that. If you want the white, if the highlights are going to be really bright white, unless you're using some like Jelly Roll pen or something like that, or some of the brush and pencil stuff. If you're not using any of that stuff, then you've got to leave the highlights free of pigment. But one of the things about working in pastels is that doesn't matter. You can start out putting all your darks down and then come over the top of that with a light pastel pencil, and it's going to show up fine. And that's how most pastel artists that I've watched work. They actually work from dark to light because you can do that. Especially if, like I say, if you're using the right paper. So this is the white pastel pencil, and you can see there just how bright and vibrant it is. Like I say, I'm just going to show you now when Stabilo on the back of their tin, they call these, they're not really pastel pencils, they call them chalk. I think they're kind of slightly harder, slightly drier than most other pastel pencils that I've reviewed. But nevertheless, the pigment intensity in them is just beautiful. You can see that here in this darker paper. And this is what one of these color pushers do. It just allows you to push the pigment right into the paper like this. And then you can come back and start layering. And that's what these color pushers are for. In terms of dragging the pigment out, that type of thing, it's really difficult to do on this type of paper because this type of paper is designed to grip hold of the pigment and keep it where it is. But in terms of blending, these pencils work absolutely perfectly. So if we can just I just got kind of like a light, a mid-tone, and a dark tone. But like I say, to see a proper demonstration, the best thing to do is to go across and watch my my speed drawing of the leopard that I've done. That leopard that I drew with the pastel pencils was the second ever drawing that I've done using pastel pencils. So you know, I still have a long way to go in terms of learning and stuff like that. But it just goes to show you, because I'm by no stretch of the imagination a pastel artist, but it goes to show you that how good these pencils are and how good the paper is as well. Because the result I got with them, with the leopard, was pretty decent for a second time attempt at pastels. But there you can see there yourself the blending ability. Sorry, it's very bright. It's not picking that up properly. So that's my review of the Stabilo CarbOthello Pastel Pencils. I would highly recommend these. Also, I'm not too sure whether I mentioned, these pencils are open stock. So if you are interested in trying them and you've never tried any pastel pencils before, get a few of them open stock. Get a few colors that you're interested in. Maybe if you're a portrait artist, there's a few, I think there's about 3 or 4 really beautiful skin tone pastels there that you can get a few of them and test them. But I would suggest getting some really nice paper, something like the Clairefontaine pastel matte, or some of the velour paper. I can't actually recommend the velour because I haven't tried it myself, but I've watched a lot of pastel artists use it and they love it. But if that's the route that you want to go down, I would just get a few open stock, try them out yourself, have a look, play about with it, and then maybe get a smaller set or a bigger set. Go for the 60 set if you've got the budget for that. I do have the prices over in the Art Gear Guide as well. The prices for here in the UK, the US, and Europe. So if you want to go across and you can have a look at all the different prices. I'll also have links back to Stabilo so you can take a look at their website, take a look at what they say about these pastel pencils. In terms of the actual size of the pencils as well, because I forgot to mention that it's a 4.4 millimeter core, so it's a really ample core. This is what I love about these pastel pencils. I prefer the chunkier type pencil. I don't know why. It's just, and it has no bearing on the performance of the pencil. But I just prefer these chunkier type pencils. So it's a 4.4 millimeter, and it's just, like I say, bursting with pigment. It's an 8 millimeter barrel as well. So it's and I think that with this grey flash on the end of it, it makes it just that more striking. But But yeah, like I say, you can go across to the art gear guide. There'll be links over there back to Stabilo, and there'll also be links to some of the sets that I'm talking about, the 12, 24, 36, and 48 sets, as well as the 260 sets that are available. You can go across there and check those out as well. Anyway, guys, that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching this review. The next review that I'm going to have coming out is going to be the Jerry's Artorama Soho pencils, so stay tuned for that review. Also, if you want, you can follow me on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. The links for that will be down below as well. Facebook and Twitter are probably the best things to follow me on, to be kept up to date with things coming out. Also, sometimes I post some of my older posts out on Facebook and Twitter as well. So if you're new to the channel, maybe you haven't been able to get across to the Art Gear Guide and scroll through all the reviews that I've done, because there's over 100 reviews now on the Art Gear Guide. I post them out on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter. And so if you're following me there, you'll get some of the older reviews coming your way as well. It just helps people out a little bit in case they've missed those types of reviews. Anyway, guys, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you all again next time. Bye.